Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, for some reason is refusing $60 million that has been allocated to help mitigate the propaganda by Russians that is coming here to the United States. It's really, really strange. So let me give you the details on what's going on right now. So the Secretary of State is resisting the pleas of State Department officials to spend, I apologize, it's actually $80 million allocated by Congress for fighting terrorist propaganda and Russian disinformation. So the terrorist propaganda that they want to fight is actually ISIS messaging that's seeping into America right now. They're using social media in order to recruit individuals. It's a big problem. You know, the Trump administration has been fear-mongering about that for quite some time now. So why is it that $80 million has been allocated to help fight that, and Rex Tillerson hasn't taken them up on that offer, hasn't used it, isn't really doing much about it at all. So the Global Engagement Center is responsible for coordinating government-wide efforts to counter the online messages of terrorist groups such as the Islamic State. So this is the organization that has the money, and they keep trying to contact Tillerson and urge him to use it for what it's allocated for. Now, more than 5 months into his tenure, Tillerson has not issued a simple request for the money earmarked for the State Department's Global Engagement Center, 60 million of which is now parked at the Pentagon. Another 19.8 million sits untouched at the State Department as Tillerson's aides reject calls from career diplomats and members of Congress to put the money to work against America's adversaries. Again, Russia being one of them. So he's just like, no, I mean, whatever. I'm just, but yeah, I'm concerned about ISIS and Russian disinformation. I guess I'll get to it at some point.
Yeah, so as usual, the press is going out of their way to present different possibilities as to why this might be happening. So they're like, well, maybe he's just disorganized. Wait, he was brought in because he's a CEO of a successful company, and the whole point of that is to be able to manage well. This is not like, oh golly gee, I couldn't manage well, so the one thing I couldn't approve was something that would work against the Russians, the ones who gave me a medal and that I had a $500 billion deal with right before I became Secretary of State. Now, and look, if you're a progressive and you're worried about, or a conservative, the Global Engagement Center, and they're trying to counter the propaganda that ISIS and Russia is doing, but you could say, hey, we shouldn't be doing propaganda as well. And what if they turn that in against, inside the US, et cetera? Those are legit concerns, right? But if we are going to do counter information from anybody in the world, I would imagine it would be ISIS. And given what Russia did in these elections, even if you don't think it's illegal, they certainly did a propaganda campaign and a misinformation campaign inside the US. No one, including all of Trump's intelligence agencies, disagrees with that. And so whether you think that's actionable against Trump is a different question, but Russia definitely did it. And so that would be the top two targets of counterattacks for the disinformation that's going on across the world. And so if you don't authorize that, you must have a different reason.
And by the way, they're not even good at hiding what that real reason is. In fact, let's hear from Tillerson aide R.C. Hammond. He suggested, this is an aide for Tillerson, okay? This is not some progressive or some liberal who hates the Trump administration. This is Tillerson's aide. He says, the money is unwelcome because any extra funding for programs to counter Russian media influence would anger Moscow, according to a former senior State Department official who works with, Hammond. So.
Okay, but I mean, you can't get any clearer than that. We wouldn't want to anger Moscow. I mean, they only did a massive misinformation campaign during our election. So golly gee, we wouldn't want to anger them. Why don't you just say you're working for them? You know that there was a story that came out last week saying that Tillerson might want to leave soon. Wait, he just got there. Why would he want to leave soon? And again, the gullible press is like, oh, his aides and people close to him are saying because maybe he's frustrated with Trump and the chaos in the White House. No, his whole point was to get the sanctions lifted. Not only is it a $500 billion deal with Russia that ExxonMobil did, the revenue is potentially up to $9 trillion. $500 billion is just the amount of investment you need to start that deal, okay? So he's like, yeah, I came here for the goddamn $9 trillion. If I'm not getting it, and what happened last week? Why did they put out that statement last week of all weeks on Tillerson? Now, yes, the White House is a mess, but they've been a mess all along. No, last week is when these votes came in with both the House and the Senate overwhelmingly saying, we are not going to lift the sanctions and we're not going to let Trump lift the sanctions under any circumstances. Then all of a sudden Tillerson's like, well, I forgot about my lunch appointment. You know, maybe I got better things to do.
No, this is a disaster. And by the way, keep in mind that there are still many leadership roles within the State Department that have gone unfilled because of the incompetence, okay? And the fact that Tillerson had no interest in this job in the first place, right? He doesn't care about being Secretary of State. I mean, he might care about using it to his advantage, right? But it's not really working out for him, thankfully, because Congress is finally stepping up to the plate. But in this case, I mean, you have tens of millions of dollars at your disposal, so you could actually fight back against propaganda. Look, you want to look out for your little Russian buddies, that's one thing, right? Which I think is ridiculous and undemocratic. But if you want to really combat ISIS recruiting within this country, then why aren't you using that money? It's very strange. Finally, I just want to state that $60 million, the $60 million that's been allocated toward this effort is set to expire on September 30th. It's unclear what will happen after that. It could be transferred to the State Department by then, or they might be able to save that money for next year. I don't know, it's unclear.
But but it is, it's very unlikely to be able to be used if they don't ask it by September 30th. So if they do ask it by September 30th, it's unclear if they have to spend it by then, okay? But the bottom line is, Tillerson appears to be running out the clock because if they don't ask for it by September 30th, they're almost certainly not going to get it. And so then he can turn around and go, oh, I mismanaged that, I guess, so we can't spend $60 million correcting the misinformation that my friends are putting out there in Russia, because I wouldn't want to anger them, and plus they did get us into office. So
it's just insane.
Brazen.
Yeah, Republicans real strong on national security.
If you like this video, you probably like independent media. The best way to support independent media, become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.